Good afternoon. Thought we'd go for a quick ride today. It's been a little rainy, so definitely not the best day for one. But I'm going a little crazy, sitting at home. So, oh hey, look, a package. Look at that later. Um, so I thought I'd drive around a little. I really like my bike a lot. If that wasn't already clear, um, it's a Ducati Scrambler, and a scrambler is a term. It's like a there's other types of or like other brands of scramblers. It's just like a type of motorcycle. It basically means it's like a street motorcycle, like a classic, like a more classic looking motorcycle. That's for street, so not like a sport one, like a crotch rocket. Um, but the scrambler part means it has higher pipes, so all of the like exhaust and stuff is higher up than normal. So if you're going off road, um, they don't get damaged. So it's basically a street motorcycle that can go off road um, if you want. So the tires that come stock on this are 60/40 or 70/30, I forget, but they're mainly for off road. So um, the main like trade off there is off road tires are like slightly less comfortable than street tires on the street. But so like this blend is pretty nice because it's still like a really comfortable bike, um, but it's also like pretty rugged. So wet roads are like mildly wet roads or debris in the road and stuff isn't as big of a deal for me. Versus if you're on like a sport bike, you'd be like really careful because you have like tiny little tires for going real fast. That said, this bike can go pretty quick. Uh, anyway, I got a new setup here. I'm trying this new lavalier mic. It's just for like a regular like lavalier you'd use for whatever normal speaking, but it has a lightning connector on it, so it's plugged into my phone, and my phone's uh, recording this directly. I have a Bluetooth setup in my helmet, which is fantastic. Highly recommend if you're a motorcyclist. But the sound quality is not amazing. It's like great for a phone call, but for a video, it's a little distracting. So, um, yeah. Anyway, trying this out for the first time. I also have my older GoPro mounted down low. I've never mounted one on my bike before, so I don't know. Thought I'd try it out. I've had one on the handlebars before, but all that footage usually turns out like really shaky because you need. I'll go this way because you need to have like a bunch of little arms to get it in like in the right angle because there's not a bar that's like right in front of where I'd want to put the shot that has clearance to mount something. So yeah, it like the arms kind of multiply the shakiness. So all the footage usually looks like pretty bad. And it's kind of a boring shot. It's just like up at me. Like, I don't know. I used to do it more for, if I'm talking a lot, it's maybe nice to like see me like talking even though I'm wearing a helmet. I like talking my hands and stuff sometimes. So it kind of makes it more personal than just like this disembodied head or disembodied voice. Uh, and scenery. Because I go through a lot of trouble to get the audio and the scenery at the same time. So I don't know. I thought it was kind of nice, but maybe I'll try something else. If I do, though, I'll probably have to make my own little mount. Have some ideas on how I could cannibalize my current GoPro like handlebar mount and make it a little more custom. Yeah. So I made a video this morning on how to like my mic setup for my desk. Some people had asked about it in the comments on a video a while back, and yeah, I made a video about it, and it was kind of boring because all of it's like, well, here's like the 20 different products I use to make this happen, and it's just like not very interesting in video form. I didn't think. So I wrote a blog post about it, and I'll link that below. It's just like a bunch of stuff. When I got this setup, I wasn't like going for what's like necessarily the best or the most affordable or whatever. It was kind of just like I want to have some like very premium stuff to go around what I already had. So I already had that mic, and I already had you know, some of the stuff, or I've had some of it in the past, and I just wanted to get it again. So a lot of it's I don't know where I'm going, by the way. I've turned right here before, I know where that goes, but I've never gone straight, so let's do that. Anyway, so it's not like the most practical setup. So if you're like going to copy me, I wouldn't necessarily recommend all the things. So in the blog post, I recommended a few like alternatives that are like much cheaper and much more reasonable. Also, mine's kind of optimized for, you know, I could expand it and record drums down the road, which you need like a lot of inputs at once for that. And most people don't need that, understandably. So, anyway, yeah. I was working on Ink this morning. Ink's this like drawing app I've been working on. I have some like live streams of me working on it from a few sittings, so you know, I'll make a playlist and link that in the description if you want to watch. It's like really long. It's like 3 or 4 hours of video. It's probably not that interesting, but whatever. Some people watched it. Anyway, so hey dog. Usually dogs kind of dart at motorcycles. That was good. He didn't. That would have been tragic. It's funny in motorcycle training, like when you take the class, there's actually like a thing they like specifically tell you, and it's a question on the test. And it was like, if a dog approaches you, should you kick it? And it's like, of course not. But apparently, like enough people got hurt doing that they they have that as like part of the curriculum now. It's just funny. I'm taking all these turns a lot more conservative than I usually would because the road's wet and I'm not super familiar with this road. So, and that car is just skidded off the road. So I guess that's a that's an okay excuse. I didn't realize that as I was approaching. What is this? It's like a little park back here. This is neat. So yeah. Anyway, I was reading this mic. Oh, it's kind of a neat bridge thing. I feel like this is now like onto like a normal road. Anyway, this mic's supposed to be 10 inches from your face. And, oh, Taylorsville. I sort of know where this is. I guess we'll go right. No, really, no. And obviously it's like an inch from my face. So hopefully it's not, I don't know, I tested it earlier and it had a bunch of like breath noise because it's like so close to my face. Even though I have like the little windscreen on it. Whatever. I have a couple other ideas for like other mics, but this is already like way overkill for what I'm doing, so I may give up on it and stick with this if I can remedy the audio. Or maybe it sounds great and I don't need to turn and go back through that little area. Let's turn here. I don't know what this is, but it probably is not where I want to go. This looks like a driveway. It says no trespassing. This is not. I'm gonna turn around. All right. Well, that was a fun detour. I guess we'll just go left. That's easy enough. Back to the way I came. So yeah, I was working on Ink. Sorry, this is all over the place. I was working on Ink. So I'm like focusing on turning. So I'm just gonna do that for a second. Alrighty. yeah, so I was working on ink for like the millionth time here. And I bet that was pretty back there. Well, I'll just go this way for a bit. Yeah, no, it's getting a lot done today. Or for like a little bit. And then I like ran into something that's just gonna be annoying. It's probably like not even an hour of work. I just really that was would have been short if I had taken that route. But I need to like refactor a bunch of stuff to support this new model. I spent a bunch of time yesterday working on smoothing. It's like a drawing app, and originally the naive approach is just to take all of the points that you're drawing with your finger or Apple Pencil or whatever, and just connect them with lines. And it won't be like super smooth, but it won't be like that's what you're doing. And the iPad has a pretty good resolution, so no, just go straight. It has a pretty good resolution, so you get a lot of points. You get 60 points a second by default, and you can opt in to get 120. And if you use an Apple Pencil, you get 240, which is pretty insane. So it's really for Apple Pencil. If I just draw them with lines, it's pretty good. But if you use your finger, it's not so great. And the Apple Pencil could definitely look better. So I was like, I'm not going to work on smoothing anymore because I could spend like an infinite amount of time on this. So I'm just going to, work on other stuff. And I started to like make a list on like a piece of paper, like what I need to work on. I was like, oh no, I'll do it in the app. Like I got to use this thing. And I started to like write it down, and it was like, this is terrible. I can't even read what I'm writing because it's so like jaggedy. So I was like, screw it, I'm gonna work on smoothing. And then I spent most of the day yesterday working on that. Although I did get kind of a late start, which I'm okay with since it's my first day on the job. So anyway, I got smoothing working really well. I would have to change my data models to support the new setup. It uses everything's represented now as like an SVG path. That's how I'm doing it for like storing on the server and transmitting it to the client and all of that. It's kind of windy over here. So currently they store it another way that was like easier, but this will be fine, and also lets me support like more stuff down the road because it's pretty flexible. Just requires more parsing because like the transport format is in kind of an annoying way. So I'll just turn around here. So yeah. Anyway, I'll go this way for a bit, I guess. Yeah, anyway, I need to change. I wrote a new view that takes in like user input and generates this new model a little more abstractly. And then I need to take that and connect it with like the models I use for networking and connect that to the API and the view controller and stuff. So I just need to like put all the pieces together. I've refactored like the server and like the view code. I just need to like connect it all on the client. And I've just been putting it off because it's just going to be annoying. Not impossible, but kind of annoying. So yeah, I made this video, this blog post, and then I like sat down to like start on it, and then like remembered I had bought donuts the other night, so I went and ate a donut, which wasn't any good. And then it's like, well, I guess now I just have to do it. There's like nothing else to do. I even considered like, well, I won't eat the donut until I do it. And I was like, that's stupid. I'm just gonna like hate myself the whole time. I'll just eat the donut now and then whatever. This is the internal struggle I have as I'm like sitting there programming. It's so stupid. So I was just like, man, I'm just super not feeling it. I'm like so bored. Like I don't have something else I'd rather be doing. I just don't want to do this. Because I haven't like left the house in a while. Like I went to the grocery last night, and then that's the only time I left yesterday, and I didn't really leave on Sunday. Left only once on Saturday, I think. So I don't know. It was like pretty just feeling a little cooped up. And it's been raining since I got home. And it was cold. Today it's like 60, and it's supposed to be thunderstorming right now, but it stopped. So all yesterday it said it was supposed to rain like every hour, and then didn't really. So I was like, screw it, I'm just gonna go on a ride, and if I get rained on, no big deal. I don't have anywhere to be. I'll just go home and change. So yeah, I want to get out of the house. that's what this whole thing was about. So I want to get out of the house. Man, it is not bad out here. So I live in East Louisville, Kentucky, and it's kind of like on the edge of all of the suburbs. So it's pretty easy to get out to like the country, which normally I wouldn't care at all about being near because, why would you go there unless you live there? But for a motorcycle, it's kind of nice to ride around and like no stoplights, no traffic, just semi-curvy roads and semi. Well, I mean, some of it's really pretty and some of it's kind of whatever. So yeah, I don't know. I like it. That road seems familiar, but I have no idea where I am. I may just like give up and GPS home if I can't figure it out. So anyway, yeah, I definitely like. I'm already like, yeah, let's go solve that. Like, I really miss commuting somewhere. Like riding into work every day in San Francisco, even though it was like in traffic and stuff, it was still just like, some of the ride was like really beautiful down Twin Peaks, and some of it was just whatever traffic in Soma, but I don't know, I miss it. So maybe I'll have to like go on a ride every morning or something. I don't know. I have a lot of like aspirational goals right now. Like I want to go to the gym every day and ride every day and make a video, or I don't know. Like I want to do all this stuff, and I'm not doing any of it. And I feel like the more of that stuff I add, the least likely I am to do any of it. That road name also seems familiar. Huh. I should just turn around. And it's not like designed to like procrastinate from what I'm working on. It's more just like I want to do all this other stuff, and since I don't like have to be on during certain hours, I have the freedom to kind of just do whatever, which is more the motivation. So I don't know. See right here, there's a gravel road, and normally on a motorcycle you would be like terrified of this, but it's kind of muddy. I'll just go straight. But on the scrambler, I'm not too worried about it. So like more about motorcycles, I guess, because maybe that's interesting if you're unfamiliar. There's like adventure bikes, which you may recognize, like this style, and that's like the classic. They call it like adventure touring. So touring's like to go really long distances, and you see like old people with matching jumpsuits on like touring bikes, which is like very not cool. Very, very comfortable though. They're like extremely practical for like that use. So anyway, then an adventure bike is like more for like off-road stuff, but also like very long trips. So when I did this week and a half long trip in Africa, it was just like riding and camping. I rented an adventure bike, specifically a BMW F800 GS, which was spectacular. So anyway, that's like a type of bike which I'm a big fan of because I really like long trips on motorcycles, and I like off-road because you can kind of like get to wherever you need to get. And off-road just feels more like adventurous because you're like going places like that may be a little dangerous or you're not supposed to go, or I don't know. It's just like has this like added appeal, I think, than just like riding a sport bike around a track isn't as exciting to me. So anyway, when I go on long trips, I'll kind of make this bike into like a wannabe adventure bike. Put a bunch of luggage on it, and I used to have bark busters, which are like these fancy hand guards, and I used to have a belly pan, which is like a engine guard for the bottom, so rocks don't like hit the engine and stuff. Um, anyway, I used to really want to get an F800 GS as well as like a street bike, but I'm much happier with the Scrambler. Um, I think if I were to get a second motorcycle, I'd like to get like a 70s BMW and learn how to work on it. I think that'd be awesome. But currently, don't have the time for that, nor the money, because I'm sure it would be a very expensive. Like, oh, this part broke, and you can only get it from Germany or something. So let's order it and spend a bunch of money. Anyway, so down the road someday, I'd like to do that, but right now I have other things that are priorities. And I love this motorcycle. I rented a bike in San Francisco in late December. That was like the bike I like always wanted. A BMW R9T. They also have an R9T Scrambler that's pretty cool, but the R9T is like the nice one. Beautiful bike. And I was like, this is it. It's like a $20,000 motorcycle or something ridiculous. You know, it's like a really expensive bike. And I didn't like it as much as my Scrambler. So, I don't know. I mean, it was awesome, and like, you know, it's a really beautiful bike and it goes really fast. Like, holy crap, it goes fast. But maybe I don't know. Currently I really prefer this, which is nice that I'm not like always wanting a bigger bike. Because when I started out, I was like, I have to get a bigger bike. Like 6 months in, I was like, all right, time to get a new one. So, yeah, I'm very happy with this. It's an 800cc, which is, or 803 technically, which is silly, but which is a great size. I think anything above 800 is just like because you want it, not because it's necessary. Like for going on long trips, 800 is like more than sufficient. But 400 on a long trip, you definitely want some more power. I mean, 1200 is crazy, but you know, I think it's a little excessive. I think anyone with a 1200 could agree it's excessive, but awesome. I don't know. So I did one of these writing and talking videos a while back, or like a couple weeks ago, I guess. This is going to take some time. And it was like a 20-minute ride. It was just like riding to my brother-in-law's house to go on a ride. I posted like some of that, but most of the footage is like pretty boring. So I just cut it down to like 3 minutes or something. Anyway, I had this like long monologue about how I want to be happy and not sad, which is a weird thing to talk a lot about. But I feel like a lot of my videos are sad, or like a lot of my podcasts, or most of the content I put out is like sad. And I'm not sad. Like, life is great. But I used to like be like ridiculously transparent. And I think I still am pretty transparent, but I used to be even more when I was working on Cheddar and stuff. And, you know, a long time ago. Well, not that, whatever. Like 2012? Something like that. It's kind of a long time ago. And the, like, it was, like, a lot of people saying it was very encouraging to hear that, you know, I struggle with whatever, or this isn't the turn, I don't think. It is not. You know, like, basically, you know, everyone has imposter syndrome. It's like people are like, oh, it's cool to see, you know, someone like you has that, which is like hard to talk about without, like, because those people think I was awesome. I don't think I'm that awesome, but anyway, well, that makes sense. I'm not trying to be arrogant. You know, whatever I had accomplished at the time that they admired is, you know, all they were saying. Anyway, yeah, so, and I think there's still like quite a bit of that, and, you know, I definitely don't mind being very open about stuff. I mean, like, anyone ask whatever, and I'd probably tell you. So, so yeah, I don't know. A lot of the times when I'm doing that, I'm like kind of just like thinking back on other stuff, and I guess I kind of just assume like, well, everything's awesome except, and then let's talk about that, which probably isn't that healthy, but I don't know. So like a lot of my videos, it's like, or like recently anyway, it was just like, yeah, there's that car again. Jeez. Um, it's like, well, I never leave the house and I'm sad about it, so I'm just gonna sit here and pout. It's kind of like the tone, I think, which is not great. Um, and no one wants to watch that. I don't know. I mean, not that it's like I need to adjust my life so people want to watch it. That's obviously crazy. But I remember Casey Neistat made a video a while back that was like, on happiness. I think it was the title. I don't know. If I can find it, I'll put a link. And it was basically like, my life isn't all awesome. He's like, I had fought my wife for a bunch during this part, and like this other stuff didn't go great, and had a lot of like hard times in the last couple months, but I didn't show any of that in the vlog. This is like I'm quoting him. So, because I wanted it to be happy and uplifting, and like it's entertainment, like ultimately, and it should be, I want it to be uplifting because that's what I want to do. Like, I'm not doing this to like hide that I have bad parts of my life and to like portray that it's only awesome. I'm just doing the awesome parts because that's what people want to see. So I thought that was really cool that he said that, and I definitely would like to do that more, and not to be like not transparent. And I'm definitely like totally fine to be sad. I really love sad music and whatever else. But I feel like it's better to be like excited and happy over, uh, like sad and mopey. I don't know. Those are like the same thing, but not necessarily, I guess. Anyway, a long way of saying, in kind of a depressed tone, I'm not very good at this yet, that I'd like to be happier, or at least like come across happier, because I am like honestly pretty happy with my situation. There's definitely a few things I would change, and I don't know how I'd do that yet, and that's like the difficult part. But I don't know. Overall, I'd say I'm very happy. Gosh, this took like such a sad turn. Oops. Missed my gear there. So, yeah, anyway. I'm excited to get home and work on this stuff. I mean, I'm still dreading it, but I just want to get through this list of stuff I said I'd do. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't try to be happier if I'm not. I mean, because yesterday's video, I'll put a link. I don't know. I thought it was pretty entertaining and good, and I was like, excited about the day. I even got some like comments like, "Oh, you look so energetic" or whatever, and I was like, "Yeah, trying to be happier," which is good. I think I could have said the same content with a sad tone, and that would have been not exciting or like fun to watch, and it's not like it's less fun for me to make, and then I feel like I keep that tone for the rest of the day. I don't know. Maybe it's good. So I don't know, because everything that I'm like sad about is silly. Like, my life is pretty awesome. I have no real problems to be sad about. It's all dumb stuff. So, or at least like stuff that I have the power to change if I want to, with varying degrees of like disruption. So, it's dumb to complain about something like that. I think that's a good realization. Like, your problems are like silly problems. If you have the power to change it and just haven't yet, then like, you're being dumb. Don't complain about it. I think that's fair. I don't know. There's probably a bunch of. I feel like making like some sort of like that sort of rule is like there's too many exceptions for it to be accurate. But that's definitely like how a programmer thinks. It's like, how can we boil this down to like a simple rule? Ridiculous. So anyway, I'm getting close to home. Hopefully this is entertaining. Please leave a comment and tell me if you like this format. I really enjoy doing this, and it feels like I'm like talking to someone even though no one's here. I don't know. It helps like think through stuff. Versus if I was doing it by myself, I'd probably just listen to music and not really. I'd probably just zone out a bit because, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, let me know what you think. If you'd like to subscribe, I'd appreciate that. And I will talk to you later.